Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Story, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. I'm so excited. I'm trying to branch out more in my Am I the A-hole theme, so today we are talking about apologies, whether you should accept them, whether you should give them. Anything apology related, whether you're sorry or you're not, there's an Am I the A-hole for you to judge. So, before I jump in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I want to take a second to say thank you so much. Spotify Wrapped just came out, and I am so blessed. Like, when I tell you, I was expecting just average. Like, oh yeah, we did okay this year. Like, we didn't do amazing, but we did great. Or we didn't do great, just like chilling. Because I've had a lot of other things going on, right? I haven't really prioritized the podcast. My apologies, but there's been a lot of things going on. When I tell you, I choked when I saw it. When like my jaw dropped, I cried, I choked. It was like screaming, crying, throwing up, like that meme. That was me. That was so crazy. I love you guys so much. Not me like ready to frame my Spotify Wrap this year because I was so proud and so excited and so caught off guard. And I love you guys so much. Like, I just want to say thank you, whether you're on Spotify, YouTube, whatever it is. Thank you for taking the time to listen and watch and hang out with me. I appreciate it so much. It's just been insane, and I cannot wait to show you all the crazy things we got set up for next year. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into today's episode. I'm Grace Story, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Starting off strong with, am I the a-hole for telling my wife that I will lose respect for her if she doesn't apologize? Ooh, spicy. My wife and I have 3 kids. Thursday, my wife was helping our 9-year-old with her homework. She was supposed to fill in a chart with the times tables. That was a hectic day. Our 4-year-old threw up, and I was trying to clean him up, and my wife was having trouble getting our 9-year-old to focus on what she was doing because she kept looking at me. Our 9-year-old hates math and is pretty bad at it, which annoys my wife, who is usually fantastic at math. I want to judge her for that, but I honestly get it because as someone who's like really good at math, I've tried to help people, but if they just don't get it, it can be really frustrating and annoying because it's like, it's, to me at least, it's one of the very few things that is very straightforward. Like, there's a formula or a system, and if someone just doesn't understand that and I do, it's like, how do I break that down further? So I want to say she's an a-hole for finding that annoying, but I also kind of understand it, so maybe I'm an a-hole a little bit here too. But anyway, let's continue. My wife asked our daughter, what is 7 times 7? And our daughter said she didn't know. My wife kept telling her to think of an answer. She kept saying she didn't know. My wife was getting frustrated. Our daughter finally guessed 37. My wife said, close, 47. Our 13-year-old then said, no, Mom, it's 49. My wife snapped at that point and told him to shut up and go upstairs. That's not good. Don't tell your kids to shut up. He went into the backyard instead. She took a deep breath and then went into our room. I finished with a 4-year-old and then went outside. I tried to talk to him, but he didn't want to listen. He kept saying, but Dad, 7 times 7 is 49. I told him his mom just got frustrated and didn't mean to yell at him. He kept insisting that 7 times 7 is 49, which I'm aware of, so I got nowhere. Yeah, that's hard because, like, obviously, ideally, don't snap at your kids. But I do understand. I have 2 siblings. My sister and I are a year apart, and then my brother's 4 years younger. So not the exact same age gap, but it is like we had 2 older kids and 1 younger kid. So I get it. And my mom definitely did have her moments, but telling your kid to shut up, like, that's just not okay. Continuing. I went back inside to talk to my wife. She said she knew she shouldn't have yelled. She said she was frustrated because he was distracting her and that's why she made the mistake. No, I think that you made the mistake because you had too much going on at once, which is just part of being a mom and you can't help that, but let's not blame the kid. I pointed out that she made the mistake before he even said anything. She started crying and asked why I was being so critical. I apologized and told her I loved her. We hugged it out, but then I asked her if she was going to go and apologize to our 13-year-old. She said no, because he shouldn't have interrupted her. She said he was rude and needed to learn not to interrupt. Okay, no. Why is not, like, that's not going to teach him. Not apologizing is not going to teach him not to interrupt. You should say to him, hey, I'm sorry that I spoke to you that way. I shouldn't have spoken to you that way, but in the future, can we work on interrupting? Can we not do that as much? Like, there's ways to do this. Come on. I told her it's not okay to tell him to shut up. We went back and forth, and finally I said I won't be able to respect her as much if she doesn't apologize. That really hurt her. She said she needed space. She hasn't said a word to me or him since Thursday. Okay, logistically, how do you not say anything to someone for that long when you like that's your child and like your spouse? Logistically, how are we not talking? I know that what I said is harsh. No, I don't agree with that, but whatever. But I can't respect someone who won't apologize when they make a mistake. Am I the a-hole? My sister says I am because I'm not being supportive and our 13-year-old is a lot. Um, no, you're not the a-hole. I can't speak for your 13-year-old. I'm not saying that. I mean, honestly, as a 13-year-old, I feel like they all interrupt. They all chime in. That's just part of how it is. Is it something he can work on? Sure, but that isn't like he wasn't even being sassy. He wasn't even being negative. He wasn't even being like, even if he is a lot in the grand scheme of things, based on this one scenario, I don't think he did anything wrong. Maybe it's because I'm a yapper as well. I chime in, and maybe I'm an a-hole for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch. But either way, she should not have spoken to him that way. She should not have handled it that way. And again, I understand that we're all human, we have moments, but the fact that she's not willing to apologize and her reasoning is to teach him a lesson, no. That's where we take it too far. Like, I can give grace and say, oh, okay, we all have our days. But that's where we take it a little too far. As someone who is 26 and has no kids, that's my take. We do have an update. My wife got up before her alarm and started cleaning our bathroom. I started the laundry and made breakfast. She didn't say a word when she sat down to eat. She ate faster than normal. She stood up, picked up her 4-year-old, and told her 9-year-old to get ready because they were going to the library. She didn't say anything to our 13-year-old. I told her we need to talk, and she shook her head. I don't like this either. Like, I understand not talking to cool things off, but you're also an adult. You also have to handle things like an adult at some point. I followed her upstairs and insisted that we need to talk. She just kept shaking her head. She went into our 4-year-old's room and locked the door. I went downstairs and told our 13 and 9-year-old that we are going to the dog park. They both asked if mom was okay, and I said yes, and that she needed space. I grabbed some clothes for our 9-year-old from the laundry room, and she got changed in the downstairs bathroom. We are at the dog park, and my wife is refusing to answer my texts. I'm starting to think this isn't about math. Yeah, this isn't about math. Like, I really don't think it is. I don't know what it's about, but I think that you need to, like, at the end of the day, your child is just that, a child, and she is an adult. Whether you two are having problems is that you can't take that on the child. So she should have had a conversation with your child in the beginning. And if you two are having a problem, you need to communicate that as well. Again, I understand needing space, but communicate that. Don't just like shake your head, lock doors. It's just very, very immature, and I don't like it. And I hate to say it, but we don't have any more updates because this is from 19 hours ago. So hopefully we get an update. But I don't like that. Like, I just don't like how she handled this. I know I'm not the only one saying that, but it really is just like making me angry. Wow, okay. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she owes me an apology for the last 7 years of marriage? That is a big apology. I'm 32 and my wife is 32. We dated in high school and got married 7 years ago. So sorry if you can hear my dog eating in the background. Two of my dogs are 3. I'm getting a new mic, but it's not here yet, so just a little bit longer, and then the background noises will be so much better. My wife has always been a scatterbrain. Before marriage, she was always misplacing things and leaving everything half finished. She was chronically late, had clutter all over her living space, and would get bursts of frustration about these messes, which would lead to hyperactivity and to not really doing anything conducive toward the solution. I love her anyway, but at times it was tiring. I saw past that because I knew she was the woman I wanted to marry. We got married when we were 25. Unfortunately, a lot of the problems that she had seemingly accelerated after marriage. We purchased a larger house because she's obsessed with quote unquote storage space. But this has essentially meant 2 bedrooms are no-go zones for me. They're simply full of her clutter. Once they were full, she started leaving things in my office, which I would have to move to not trip over. Not good. I tried to convince her for years to get diagnosed with ADHD and start treatment, but she had a really negative view of ADHD. She viewed it similarly to how she views schizophrenia or psychosis. Not that there's anything wrong with these conditions, but she believes there is. A couple of months ago, she had a girls' night out and she came home telling me that she might have ADHD. I mean, I've been telling her that for years until she decided that she would have a meltdown every time I brought up ADHD. I figured it was because she was 30 minutes late and it caused an issue with her friend, but no. She described her frustrations to her friends, and one of them told her she might have ADHD. A bit of a side note, but when I said it, it was the worst insult imaginable to her. When her friend said it, it was helpful commentary. Okay, before I keep going, I do want to say that she was probably raised or told her whole life that mental illnesses are bad or a problem. Because I know people who are in similar situations. I've been around people who had similar situations. I've been in Christian circles where they tell you that mental health isn't real. Like, there's a lot of places where I've been and I've seen how it affects people firsthand in terms of mental health and mental um, different functions and how they affect you. And as someone who was diagnosed at ADHD at 22, so I was later in the scheme of things, I definitely know how it feels to feel like there's something wrong with me, but I can't, like, I don't want to make it real. But at the same time, I understand, like, I don't know, sometimes it's different to hear it from your closest friends. Like, sometimes Josh will say things to me and I'll be like, ew, no. Like, no. But then my friends will say it to me and I'll be like, oh, dang, maybe he was right. Because we joke around like that. Like, we tease each other, we joke around, and it's the context of the conversation, right? So like we do tease each other a lot more. Whereas when my friends tell me something, I know that it's coming more from a like place of concern, I guess. I guess it's just the context of the conversation. Maybe he could have been telling her, but she could have not understood. I don't know. We don't know her reasoning for not listening to him as much as she listens to her friends, but I've also been there in certain situations. But it is because we tease each other and mess around a lot. So when Josh says things like that, I'm like, yeah, okay. But then my friends who have been in similar situations and are around the same age, same gender, we have some of the same career paths, like they've been in my shoes. It's a little bit easier to believe what they say, if that makes sense, or take their advice. Well, my wife finally got herself diagnosed the day before yesterday. She came home from the doctor talking about how it explained everything. I responded that I felt I was owed an apology. She was initially confused, but I responded that if she had actually addressed this when I asked her all those years ago, I wouldn't have had to live with the constant stress of her chronic tardiness, clutter, emotional outbursts, and so on. She responded by shrieking at me, and now she's refusing to even have a word. I feel like I may have taken it a bit too far, but were my words to her justifiable? Uh, I don't think that this level is justifiable. I think that she was just diagnosed. This was a huge change for her. It may have been a huge weight off her shoulders, but it is a huge change in the sense that I was just diagnosed with something on Friday that I had suspected my whole life, but I didn't know if I had it or not. And then when I was finally diagnosed, I was like, wow, I've known this, but it's almost like it's not true. Like they're gonna be like, JK. But then that also means that I have to actually take it seriously. Like I have to actually care about certain things. And as someone with ADHD, and that's not what I was diagnosed with on Friday. What I was is a little bit more serious in terms of like dietary changes and like lifestyle changes and stuff. But as someone with ADHD, when I have good days and bad days with it. There are days when it's really bad. No matter what I do, I'm on the medication. I try my best to not forget things. I set timers, I write to-do lists. It is not something that just because now that she has a diagnosis, it's going to change your life. She's probably still going to struggle with clutter for the most of her life. I struggle getting rid of certain things. I'm not a hoarder or like I don't have a ton of clutter and I don't have rooms full of stuff, but I do struggle to get rid of certain things. She's still going to struggle with being late. She's still going to struggle with all these things that you said she owes you an apology for. I don't think that that's what the apology should be for. I think that, one, you shouldn't have said that first and foremost because you don't know if she's taking this well or not, especially if she spent the first majority of her life thinking that having ADHD is like terrible, wrong, and horrible. Two, I think that you could have said, like, I feel like you owe me an apology because I tried to tell you this because I wanted to help you and you didn't want to listen. I don't think that she owes you an apology for just being the way she has always been for the past 7 years, because this isn't gonna change anything. It may help, but for me, like I said, when I'm stressed, my ADHD is crazy bad. Like, it gets so bad. Like, I forget everything. You can tell me something, 30 seconds later, I will forget it. But that's, like, when my stress is crazy bad. When I'm eating bad, my ADHD is worse. When I'm doing certain things, it gets a lot worse, and again, like, there's things you can do to mitigate it. Everybody's different. Just because I react that way doesn't mean she'll react that way, but she's always gonna have some level of ADHD to her. And telling her that she should apologize for behaving that way for the past 7 years when she literally can't help it. And there are days when I guarantee that she's like, I don't know how to stop this or make it stop, or I don't know how to become better. I don't know, like, why can't I just remember things? When she's frustrated in those moments, now she's gonna say, well, he doesn't like that about me. When it doesn't sound like it's about that. It sounds like you're upset that she didn't believe you. So, sorry that was a little bit of a rant, but that's it. That's all that was said. This was posted a year ago. This is an archived post, and then profile is not available, but it doesn't look like it's deleted, so maybe it was suspended. I don't know. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for not apologizing for my actions after she cheated? Spicy. I, 24 male, found out my girlfriend, 23 female, of 2 years, emotionally has been cheating on me for 3 weeks with a friend. I knew she had a close relationship with him before. Once she said he has been there for me in the darkest moments of her life. I didn't dwell on it by then. She said they knew each other for years. I get that. I have friends that have been there for me that I've known for years, but we also know where the line is between, like, appropriate and not appropriate when you're in a relationship, especially when it's been 2 years. Like, it's a serious relationship. You just don't have the type of relationship with friends of the opposite gender that you have when you're single, if that makes sense. Like, the boundaries are definitely a lot more, like, I don't know, I don't really, like, text friends of opposite gender, like, one-on-one very often, or, like, seek them out and be like, "Hey, how are you?" Because I just don't. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't feel like I need to. Like, I'm not, like, texting them 24/7 like I was when I was single. I don't know. Is that normal? Definitely let me know if you can comment if that's normal. Like, how do you handle your relationships when you're in a relationship, whether it is people of the opposite gender or whether you are in a same gender, same sex relationship and it's people, whatever, your friends in general. Moving on. I found their messages, how she, in her messages, she is single, was waiting for him for 3 years. I suspect they had a thing those 3 years ago, but she was with her ex at this time, I think. Wait, what? So she was waiting for him for 3 years, but she was single. But when they had that thing 3 years previously, she was with her ex. I don't. Okay. She told him how she truly was only loving him, dreams of her and him in bed, etc. But let's get to the point of the post. I already got rid of her from our rented apartment and we moved to 2 months ago, me from the other half of the country. We were long distance relationship for this whole time. When I confronted her about it, she didn't call it cheating. She only views doing sexy tango as cheating. Told me how I neglected her emotionally. Didn't tell her I love her. I did when I felt like it, but when I didn't get the reply, I stopped. Huh? I'm terrible at expressing my internal emotions, but I do show it in different ways. I was the cook, cleaner, laundryman, and filler of the fridge. Yeah, but how did that affect you being long distance? That doesn't matter. I earn 1.5 times her salary for less hours, but still full time. Okay, all that's great, but, like, what is her love language? I'm not saying that cheating is justified. Cheating is never justified. You should just break up. But I just feel like you're trying to justify, like, treating her better. I don't know. Like, you're trying to justify, well, I didn't say I love her that much. Okay, yeah, but if words of affirmation are her love language, that is a big deal. She worked for long hours on her day off. She was in need of rest, rarely doing anything. While I was tired of all those things, she was unfulfilled with our sexy tango life, which was about 2 times a week. It's the aftermath that is the point of the post. During the confrontation, she stayed adamant to her view that it's not cheating. She is a person that is hard to convince. She only will believe other uninvolved persons when she was wrong. In anger, I sent evidence of her cheating to her sister and asked her opinion. Of course, she considered it cheating. Next day, I met up with my ex best friends because they reached out to me so we could meet up together. Me, my ex, and them. Huh? Like we used to weekly. I told them it's not possible if they expect us to come together. After they asked me how serious it is, they invited me to vent. I told them all of this. They didn't even want to see the screenshots, instantly believing me. Why did I tell them? They're my only friends I got in this city I recently moved to. We've known each other for 1.5 years. Okay, no offense, sir, but your grammar is really, really confusing. So I hope that you guys know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Now, when we're in the process of exchanging our items, she constantly seeks contact with me. She apologized for what she had done. Still, she doesn't view this as cheating. I can't get what this apology is for. Do you hear someone doing burnouts outside? Excuse me, that's probably my parking lot, sir. She constantly seeks contact with me. She apologized for what she had done. Still, she doesn't view this as cheating. I can't get what this apology is for. She said she effed up. She wants me to apologize because of me telling her sister and friends she has no one to seek help. Tells me I wrecked her life. I laughed in her face when she wanted an apology for this. I know that that is wrong of me. I was able to only to apologize for telling her family. I don't feel guilty for involving her friends because they are mine too and they deserve to know. Yesterday, she told me that her friends only, quote unquote, took me in because went to them whimpering like a dog with a broken tail, that I should have kept it between us, not her friends, because she knows them longer. Supposedly, they believed me because I was the first to tell them, but when they wanted to talk with her, she didn't want to because they should know better. I needed to cool down. Heard more hurtful things like they only have time for me now because I'm hurt, while previously they rarely found time for me. Partially it's true, but I view it as they are there for me in the moment when I need them the most, and they are planning a wedding, so it's totally understandable that they didn't have much time. Her definition of true friendship is when they do for you things no matter what. Only after committing do they start asking questions. While for me, true friend is being able to talk me out of my bad behavior and show me things from third person. I don't think you can be true friends with a morally bad person. So am I the a-hole for not keeping this thing only between us? I'm gonna be honest, this sounds a lot like someone who is 24, which you are 24. That makes sense. This is not as big of a deal as you're making it sound. She cheated on you. Yes, that is horrible. The whole friend thing kind of doesn't really matter. I'm gonna be honest, once things cool down, I don't know. It's gonna fall into place how it's meant to, and I don't think that should be your concern. I don't necessarily think you need to apologize for telling them. If you were calling her friends like out to ruin every single one of her friendships, then it would be like, yeah, maybe should apologize. But considering you like if you're just looking for people to confide in, maybe not, if they're both of your friends. I do want to say for the future, when it comes to cheating, the line is different for everyone. For some people, it's talking to another guy. Do I think that that's a bit extreme? Yeah, but there are people who like, if you say hi to someone else as we're walking down the street, that's cheating. Little toxic, little controlling. But again, I've seen things that work for different people. I've seen people who delete their social media and their relationship partner deletes their social media, and that's their way of doing things. As long as it's not controlling or toxic, then I don't see a problem with it. But where I'm going with this is you need to define where the line in cheating is. Is it going to dinner with a friend where it's just you and someone else and you don't have any other friends with you? Is it um just talking emotionally and saying, "Man, I wish we would have had another shot," because to me, that's cheating, but to her, it's not. So I think that moving forward, it's really important to have these conversations. I do have friends who are like, "Yeah, no, like, if we're just, like, dancing with other people at the bar, that's not cheating. Like, my boyfriend's totally okay with that." And it's like, "Okay, my boyfriend is not, and I'm not." Because if he was dancing with a girl at a bar, I'd be like, excuse me?" So my camera died. I'm gonna finish up filming on my phone because unfortunately that was the last story. I didn't realize that those were gonna take that long. Let me know what length of episodes you're wanting. That's another thing, as I am rebranding and restructuring. Do you want like hour-long episodes? Do you want like 20-minute long episodes? What length of episodes are we feeling? Also, if you see the dog in the video, this is Rip. He's our new dog. Now we have 3 dogs. Everybody say hi, Rip. Say hi. He's a big guy. But yes, moving back to the story, back to the plot. A good example, I think, of this is if you go to the bar with your friends, some guys are totally okay with girls flirting to get drinks, right? Like some guys are like, yeah, no, my girlfriend can flirt all day to get free drinks. I don't care. Some guys consider that cheating. It's just like an example. Again, I think that it's really important to understand what's toxic and what's not. But if both of you are like consenting and you're like, yeah, no, that's not cheating to me, then I don't see an issue with it. But again, as you go into relationships very early in the relationship, I feel like that's something that's really important to discuss. What's your cheating line? Do you want to have kids? Thoughts on marriage, religion, politics. Those are the things that matter. So, yeah, that was the last story. So sorry. I have so many more, but my camera died and I didn't realize how long those 2 were going to take. So, definitely let me know what length episode you're feeling if you're on like Spotify or YouTube and you're able to comment. And yeah, you can always also message me on Instagram because I would love to hear on there as well. Thank you so, so much for listening and watching. I love you so much. I hope that you guys are having a great day or a great night, depending on when you are watching this. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye, guys.
You was the first